Welcome back to my channel. I'm going to do the front wheel bearings on the Massey Ferguson 65. These bearings also fit the 20 and the 35. Now I haven't jacked it up yet. If you jack it up, the wheel will just rotate. Makes it harder to undo. That one has snapped before, I've just got a bolt through it. So that's just a bolt. There's plenty of room on the inside for the head of the bolt to sit. So now I'll jack it up. Now this is a solid steel weighted rim. It's quite heavy. Now you have to undo the nut there to get the hub off. So I'm going to clean the grease away from here so I can see that nut. Now I have to get that pin out so I can get the cast on nut off. This is just a flat screwdriver. Straighten it out with the pliers. Move that out of the way. Just like the wheel nuts, this is a 27mm. Now the hub should just come straight off. There is a washer just here. And this washer has a little tag on it. I'll just clean it up so you can see it. Just there. There's a groove for that to slide into on the axle. There's the outer part of the bearing there. And the inner part of the bearings are still in there. This other outer. The grease has gone really dry on that one. Which has probably caused the problem in the first place. These bearings got so bad the tyre started rubbing on the steering arm there. Looks like it's rubbed there a little bit as well. There's the seal. That's just a punch. There we go. That's the inner bearing. That seal will need replacing. It would be the cause of why that inner bearing had the grease dry up on it. That's all dry grease in there. So I'll have to get some new seals as well. It's taken a beating before. It's got quite a few decent gouges out of that. Like someone's been at it with a screwdriver and a mallet or something. That'd be some old rope that's got caught around the wheel at some point. I just had a rummage around in the box and I found the two seals in the bottom of the box. So make sure you get them when you order your bearings. They were in the bottom, so they were included with this bearing kit. Now I need to knock out the inner parts of the bearings. These hubs should have enough of a lip. There's a bit of a gouge out of them. Just there and there. Oh, look at that, it's starting to come out anyway. There's the inner of that one. I mean the outer of that one. just came out with hands. I didn't even need to bash on that. And that one has a little notch out on either side there. I'll be able to bash that out. A lot of the 20s don't have that notch, which makes them a little bit harder to get that out, but that'll be in another video. Now I'm going to knock the other outer out. I've just got this sitting on a piece of wood so I don't wreck the threads. There it is. Now I just clean that up. Ready for the new ones. See how the notches are there. That's so you can knock the bearings out. Now I've got a couple of sockets. That fit rather snugly in there. In that side to knock them outer parts of the bearings in. Now these are tapered, so that goes towards the inside, that goes towards the outside. It also helps to wipe a bit of fresh grease in there before you bash the new one in. I forgot to do that. That's the grease I'm using. So just like on the other side, that side goes to the outside, that side goes to the inside, so it goes in that way. That's actually quite a loose fit, that one. So I'll probably end up needing to replace the hubs later on, but this will just get it going for now. That one goes in there, which is why I put that in that way, so that slides in that way, but I'll need to pack that with grease first. See, it's starting to squeeze through there. You need to keep going all the way around. Okay, it's coming out of there. I need to go around this side now. It's coming out. Seal. which is also sitting in there loose. This hub will need replacing. Just putting some extra grease in here. A little bearing, which goes to the outside. And same deal with the other bearing. And keep going all the way around to get it to come out the other side. The washer. And the nut. Now I'm going to tighten that and make it all sit into place. Now I want to tighten that so it turns without too much resistance. I'm just backing that off a little bit. Then you've got to line up to where your pin can get back through. Pin your pin back up. Get that clean out. Oh, that's clean. Put that back on. Now I won't be able to tighten that until it's on the ground because it turns with the hub. Put the spacer back on. And put the wheel back on. Now these weighted rims are pretty heavy. They take a bit of work to get back on. I'm going to have to let the jack down a little bit to line that up. I just rotated the center cap just so the studs would line up. I'll have to jack it up a touch. Once you get it on far enough to get a couple of nuts, you're usually pretty right. Because that nut's on, I can push it, get the opposite nut on, and then get the rest of them on. I'm just working my way around, doing opposites, except for that one because that's the broken one. Well, the one that broke and I had to replace with a bolt. It was missing when I bought the tractor. Now I'll do the other one up. Now all the nuts are reasonably tight. I'll let it down. Then I can go around tightening it all properly. Now the center cap. Now that side's done. Now the other side. Now we'll jack it up. Now we'll get the wheel out of the way. That's how loose this side is. The wheel spacer on this side is stuck on there. Point, I don't need to take that off, so I'll leave it on there. This nut's a different size to the other side. So this side seems to be a 1/1/8. It's the same washer as what's on the other side. And just like on the other side, I have to get this bearing out of the way. Push that out of the way. Here's the seal. I'm not sure if that's part of the old seal or part of the old bearing. Looks like it might be part of the old seal. And give that a clean up. Now, just like on the other side, I need to knock the outer part of both bearings out. I'm just cleaning some of the old grease out so I can see what I'm working with. All that grease in there makes it hard to see where to bash on that bearing. It's an old piece of a bearing. They've all got their pieces, so it must be from a previous bearing. I've got a second piece of wood. The bearing has come out to the point that it's hitting the wood. Okay, I got that out. That's a crack bar. Because that was so short, I couldn't get in there properly. So there's that. It's starting to move, but it is very slow. That was it. There it is. I think it's time for a new rag. Part that the seal's been sitting in has a lot of dried up grease in it. I don't know if it was me while I was getting the bearing out just then, or the previous time the bearing's been changed, but just in there. See if I can get the light to shine in there right. There's a burr, just there. So I'll need to give that a file. Because the new bearing will not go in with that there. It could have been why it was so hard to get the last bearing out. It's better now. Now for the new bearings. You want the thicker side to go in first, so the thin side is pointing up. that went in a lot easier than coming out, so I guess that burr was there before. It wasn't there from me. That's even rotating in there a little bit. Yeah, so that burr was definitely there from the last time this was done. Same as before, the thicker side goes in, thin side goes out. So it goes in that way. They're in, and just like the other side, you need to pack the bearings with grease. Put the bearing in there. And get the seal. Put the seal in there. Put some grease on here. Sit that there. Now the same deal with the little bearing. Get some grease and push it through. See it coming through? Put that on there. Putting the washer back on with the little tag lining up with the stub axle and the nut. Now I just back that off till the pinhole lines up. Because that pin broke, I'll get a new one. So this pin is a little bit too long. So I'll just cut it down. Clean that up. Put the cap back on. And put the wheel back on. I'll just let the jack down a little bit to get the wheel to slide over the hub. slowly jack it up, try and line it up, put it back on. And just like the other side, I rotated the center cap to make the holes line up. Just jack it up a little bit. I forgot to mention on the other side, when you're doing these nuts up, the tapered side goes towards the wheel. The flat side faces out. So you want this side to go in. Same with all of them. That side goes in. Now I've got two nuts on, making sure you put them on the right way. They're all tight enough that I can put it down now and tighten it off properly. Always remembering to tighten opposites. And now if you ever need to adjust your wheel bearings again, you can loosen off this cap, take the pin out, tighten the nut a little bit, put the pin back in and put the cap back on. And once you can't do that adjustment anymore and the wheel won't tighten, it's time to change the wheel bearings again. Hope this helps. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.